Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8.52. Still a wonderful, great game here. Both the one that we're playing as well as generally the Black Ice game compared to Hearts of Iron 4, which I think in time will mature, but not yet there. Okay, small arms manufacturing in advance. Now we should be on industry. Okay, we're going to let that continue. It's important. Bunch more will be pumping up there shortly. Okay, you've got to... And automotive, which we'll let go as well. Don't think they've actually joined the war yet. No, maybe they'll be smart and keep them as a potential joiner, but maybe I'll just have to declare war in Afghanistan and take it. Artillery production industry has improved. Okay, air cooling systems. That's very welcome. I think that's the one and done, or is it a... Here, yeah, one and done. Okay. Yes, these are what we were hoping to... Climb rate focus. Yeah. Also get improved by that. How are we doing up in Norway still? Wow, they're still up there. They're getting organized. Is that a port? No, it's an airport like I thought, yeah. Okay, they're mobilizing. Maybe I should have been building a port. I stopped building that port. Who knows? Because it was just what I thought was going to take too long. I'll spend the 4 IC on it. And if they take it beforehand, oh well. Twin engine bomb bags. this will be able to occupy that, so... Air Force HQs, that's nice. Go over to climb maneuverability focus. Yes, we'll take that. Support the attack. And naval HQs. Well, okay, that'll be useful. We should be doing that already. Increase our naval range by improving our ability. I'm sure I've talked about underway replenishment in other episodes, so I will hold off on talking about it now. And why it's a very, very tricky evolution. It isn't just putting a few supplies in a boat or something. Okay, well, I think it's time that we really start pushing here. I thought it was, but where are they? Where are they? Okay. There we are. Okay, well, it looks like just about everybody's going forward. It should be, at least. Good, we like improved shipbuilding technologies. Okay, we've got very high popularity back. That is most excellent, which will mean more leadership and other good things. The 1st Australian Armored Division. The 1st Australian Armored Division is now outfitted and ready for service in Alexandria, Egypt. Interesting, they're equipped with American-made, those are grants. Let's check and see if they were grants or if they were lease. Trouble in the Bengal region. Okay, well, why am I not surprised? Of course, we don't have much over in Bengal area, though. Okay, oh, I thought we were going to get these earlier. Yes, yes. All of our forces are over. Further west. We'll take care of those. That's right, we need to do some more research. Now on this Afghan thing, since they're a member of the Axis now, mobilizing their forces very well means they may join the war. I'm sort of in a... Probably should, though. I'm sort of waiting for this guy, but it's seeing how long these guys are these militia are slowly moving in here. That's part of the problem in militia. How difficult it's going to be fighting them there and occupying them versus how much force it's going to take me to contain them. But if they come in and join the war, are they going to cause the Soviets to start sending units overly much to face them? No, I think... Okay, let's go that force. We're going to try another invasion up here. There we go, we get some Marines involved. Let's see if we can do another good invasion. We got a lot of subs up here. We also have a lot of our anti-submarine air up. Sort of daring them to come out and play. Okay. U-boat section building, or yeah, building advance. We're gonna let, I'm pretty sure all of these are just going to 42, so we're gonna let them continue. Now this time the Yorktown is lost. Carrier. But before I was mistaking the New York battleship for Yorktown. Well, I hope AI, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good enough job that you're holding up the Japanese here in the Philippines, which is very helpful. You guys can go back to the port. Well, you're not going to get there in time, so we're going to stop your attack. Yeah, okay, how many hours? 42. Okay, we won. Great. Oh, good. Now we got the, what is it? Macassar Strait back. The strategic effect. I like the additional supplies. Love the additional leadership. And fighter ground crew training has advanced. And we're going to use the extra leadership, which I think is just going to do. That's good enough for more than that. Oh good, we've just won up here. Good, 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 good. Well, their naval air is coming after us. Don't we have some fighter production? Don't know. Within the carrier. Uh-oh, Anzac headquarters have shattered. Not too surprised. All those battle commanders. We'll go up, what's up here? Oh, just... Is it here? Where did it go? I thought it... Oh, here's the headquarters. Let's just try to get it back so it's in communication contact. We should have also been sending the Western Desert Force forward as well, a long time ago. Oh good, we got some of the siblings. Okay, we're gonna cancel your going home. We're gonna hit patrol here because we got all those displaced. Hopefully a bunch of units will be able to sink. Well, this will free up a bunch of other forces that we'll be able to use somewhere else, including here. I don't think they're going to come back and re-invade. Not if we keep a good naval and air watch over the region. There we go. Acrylic bubble. I watch a lot of documentaries, as you probably can guess, about World War II. That's not all I do, but I do watch a fair number of them. This one was on the American Heroes channel, which used to be the military channel. Was top 10s, and I've seen it before, and they take the top 10 rifles or fighter aircraft, and one of them, this was fighter aircraft. One of the ones they talked about was the P-51 Mustang, and they showed the early version of the P-51, which was supposedly a very big disappointment. It was meant to replace the Spitfire, but just wasn't very good. The main thing that it wasn't, two things that weren't very good about it was the original engine was, I don't know if underpowered, but not overly powered, shall we say. So it didn't have much greater speed than the Spitfire. And it wasn't until that I think they put an additional gas tank behind the pilot. I think that's where it was, or wherever, until they added the additional gas tank to give it the range to fly to Berlin and back. And they said that the first time that they, in the daylight, raid over Berlin, that the Americans did with them, Goering walked out of the Air Ministry and supposedly looked up, and I forget who he said this to, but something like, "It's all over, the war is lost now," when he saw the fighters, because he recognized the American fighters up there. Because so long as they weren't escorted, the attrition rates was something that Goering, and I think the German Air Force legitimately could see, as the cost in men and in machines shooting down deep penetration rates like to Berlin during the day You can win that attrition war, but once you can effectively escort them, and they knew the U.S. production levels were higher than the German ones, however well they knew that, I don't know, but they knew that. So he knew it was lost, and this was, I think, 42, 43, somewhere around there, when this happened. But showing the early P-51, the Mustangs, is that you saw the aircraft looks very similar, but it's all, or mostly all, flat glass or acrylic, I don't know which, but probably mostly glass, cockpit windows with metal frames around it. And then you look at a 1943 or 44 Mustang where the whole thing is just a bubble, and it is bigger, larger, so you can see so much more around you. And that is a critical thing in particularly pre-radar fights, but even in post-radar fights, is having that bubble. And it was just being able to work acrylic and being able to shape it. From watching a documentary about sort of an odd magician who or entertainer magician from the 30s, went into war work, and he was eventually, his company tried to keep him out because he was working for one of the aircraft manufacturers out of the I think it was the Army that he was drafted into. But no, they drafted him in, partially because it was a California company. I know we talked a couple episodes ago about the California, well, maybe that was the other series, California Aircraft Manufacturing, forget which it was. California aircraft manufacturing industry, that's where he was working. But his draft board, because he had moved out to do it, was back like in Tennessee or somewhere, and the Tennessee people didn't really care. It was more just, well, let's get this guy, he'll go serve, instead of having somebody else from Tennessee serve, no matter what his war work was. Well, so he was drafted. Now he was, after training, he was sent to this area. I don't know specifically Calcutta, but maybe it was, or up in here, for his, because it was like last year and a half of the war or something, for his war work, as part of the Army. And he was, and they showed some of the instruments, sort of a light bulb heating system that used light to heat it up and to shape acrylic locally here for military uses. They weren't stupid enough to take I don't think he was specifically an acrylic worker, forget, in the aircraft industry, but somebody who had that type of background. They weren't sending him off to be a combat soldier in the jungles of Burma. So India can be quite dangerous just on its own at this time, maybe today. But so he was sent off to do that there, so that they were making acrylic. And I don't think they were doing aircraft, maybe replacements, but they were just shaping various needed things for the armed forces using acrylic. Even here, the U.S. was shipping that out, just to give you the shape and scale of the U.S. industrial effort that they set up. It was a small thing, I think, of less than 5 people, including 1 or 2 indigenous people that were, and the indigenous, they were in the armed forces or whatever, I believe, locally, but that were working in this, that it wasn't just back in the factories in the U.S. or in this case Britain that they were working these. They moved this limited sort of specialty production in theaters around. So that was very interesting, and so that should have a significant effect, I think, mainly on the fighters, that it had a specific combat bonus, as opposed to just making things useful for the military. That's what I think the guy was mostly doing. One guy was one of the locals, I think, made a desk or desktop out of acrylic or something like that. He mentioned And then some of the officers like that. Fairly high ranking or whatever. So it was just making things. I'm sure some of the stuff may have been critical, but... Okay, I'd like to get commerce defense, so we're going to go to this. Well, we're going to take this opportunity to end this episode here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. I do appreciate that. Please post questions, comments, suggestions, corrections if I'm getting some stuff wrong. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.